what it's like detoxing in jail. It was one of the most trying times in the beginning of my recovery. I spent so long in them streets shooting dope. I spent so long in them streets thugging and drugging. So many different times I tried to quit. I remember this time I talked to my father, and he's like, listen, if you don't get up out these streets, you're gonna die. I remember telling him the only thing that's gonna save me is jail. Prior to death. You can do it, family, but what is it like detoxing in jail? I was on the way to go get my hair braided, right? Because Shorty wanted to be a thug. We got pulled over. The cops searched the car. I got so high on that shit, I left the syringe on the ground. Cop yoked me up out of the passenger seat, completely stripped me down, went through my wallet, found a bunch of strips, sublingual films, and they brought me in. Went in front of the judge, got a $10,000 bond. I can barely come up with $20. How am I supposed to come up with 10 grand? Somebody save me. I know I don't really believe in nothing at this point in time in the game, but somebody come get me. Come help me, because Adam's sick. Adam doesn't feel good. Adam's uncomfortable. All this stuff that began to set in the beginning stages of my detox, entering Lee County Jail in Fort Myers, Florida. Then the withdrawal process started. And at that point in time, I was on that Mexican tar. Lo and behold, that shit's cut with so much garbage. I started hallucinating. I started dry heaving. And it just got worse. I remember I would hyperventilate myself. I would literally choke myself out just to pass out, just for a couple seconds, because I didn't want to believe that I was in jail. And then I would wake up. And I would wake up. No matter how many times I hyperventilated myself, I would still wake up and I'd still be in the spot that I put me in. The detox process in jail was one of the most horrible things I'd ever experienced as an adult. Couldn't use the bathroom because opiates constipate you. I had 30 days worth of trays inside me. 30 days worth of trays. 3 trays a day. I had 90 jail trays inside me before I could even use the bathroom once. I was all bloated. I was feeling like total garbage. The toilets in there sound like jets taking off. Whoosh. Insomnia, restless legs. I'm on the top bunk flopping like a fish. I remember this dude next to me in the bunk up top. Real cool dude, man. He actually let me hold a couple pieces of candy because I was on indigent status. Didn't have no money. Damn sure didn't have no connections to get my ass out of the place I put me in, or some money on my books. He gave me a couple pieces of candy, and for 1 or 2 nights I would just leave the candy in my mouth and let it dissolve. I remember I was averaging like 2 hours a night sleep, in between toilets flushing and the slides clacking on the floor, clack, 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 as everybody's going to take a piss 72 times a night, because there's like 80 of us in dorm 11 in Lee County, Florida. I opened a couple different books. I started talking to a higher power, which I didn't even really necessarily believe in at that point in time, because I was my higher power. The shit I was doing out there in them streets was all about me. Me. Adam the addict. If it ain't about me, if it ain't about my feelings, if it ain't about me scamming, lying, stealing to try to get $20, then I wasn't about it. Jail saved my ass. And jail potentially can save someone else's ass. You gotta hit rock bottom, family. Only problem is, rock bottom's got a couple basements. What that means to me is that means death. My brother Robbie died the day before my 3-year sobriety date. I got a phone call while I was inside. My homeboy Baxter got released. I'll never forget it. The police, the CO, said, "Baxter, you ready to go?" Baxter was like, "Hell yeah, I'm ready to go." Baxter went out in them streets, shot a bag from the connect we was messing with, and died. because he was in there for like 2 months and his tolerance diminished almost to nothing. Went back out there thinking he could get down like he used to got down, and instead of getting down, he got put in the ground. Detox in jail, man. It was a miserable experience. Detox in jail saved my life. I'll never forget it. They gave me a mat, right? Because you get a mat that's like this big, right? Somebody got sprayed and tased on it, because that's what they do in Lee County Jail. They don't ask questions. They spray and tase. So I just so happened to inherit a mat with mace on it, oil base, so that shit don't go away. I'm laying on this mat, withdrawn from dope, and my whole eyes, my whole everything's being irritated from the mace on my mat. I didn't get off that mat till I got sent out to the tents. If it wasn't for that detox process, maybe, just maybe, it couldn't have got through this thick ass head of mine, right? Because your average addict is excessively stubborn. Your average addict don't care about a whole lot but the next fix, but them. That mace saved my life. That heroin charge saved my life. I remember I got out of jail after detox and did 69 days inside, right? They offered me a year paper or another week. Without hesitation, I took that year paper. You know how many people was like, oh, you're gonna fail. The state probation program is designed to keep you down. I respectfully disagree. You know what the state probation did for me? It provided me structure. I dressed myself out, right? Because you get back in the clothes you got locked up in, and I'm looking at the shit I was wearing. All I could see was the blood stains on my clothes. All I could see was holes in my underwear because I couldn't get to a filter for the spoon quick enough, so I would just rip off a piece of cotton from my underwear. Don't even know how long I've been wearing them, right? Because what's the point in doing laundry when you're chasing that dope, right? What's the point in taking a bath, washing your hair? Them drugs had me messed up, family. Detoxing in jail without hesitation saved my life. The mace on the mat was there for me. The insomnia, the restless legs, all the post-acute withdrawal symptoms or massive withdrawal systems in the very beginning was there for me, man. My boy Baxter passing away. I miss you, bro. I can't go back and get you, man. I miss you, Robbie. I can't go back and get you, man. But I might just maybe can save somebody, which is why I'm doing this content. I jumped off January 1st, 2019. I've got 200 and something videos. Life is about progression. Life is about growth. Recovery is about growth. If you don't continuously work on your recovery, if you don't take this shit serious, it's gonna take you out, man. It took out so many of my homeboys. It took out so many of the OGs that I used to mess with in the neighborhood. Everybody's dead, man. Everybody's serving federal prison time on dope charges. It's up to you, family. Detoxing in jail can actually be one of your greatest assets. Is it gonna be shitty? You damn right. Is it gonna suck in so many ways that you might not just maybe understand it at that point in time in the game? Probably so. But detoxing in jail saved my life. I owe my life to the Lee County Sheriff's Office, and that sounds weird, right? Because I used to never mess with them boys. And then, somehow, some way, I was stupid enough to leave the syringe on the floor of the car I was in. And they grabbed me. Somehow my bond was set high enough that the people that loved me told me to stay my ass there, and the people out there that I was thugging with kept doing the same exact thing, expecting a different result. If you gotta go to jail to detox, utilize your time in jail to detox. If you gotta take paper, do you. I suggest you take that paper. If I would've took that week instead of that year paper and just laid down eating fake bologna sandwiches with cheese that don't melt, little quail eggs this big, I would have never, ever, ever made it to where I'm at today. I'm really glad you're here, family. Consider subscribing. I love you. Stay strong. But remember, if you got to go to jail to detox, take your ass there and turn a miserable event into a success story.